In this segment, Stephanie Miller and her guests continue our coverage of the fiasco of Trump's nominees.
Democrats are the party of uncommon nonsense. Republicans are the party of common sense. It's why our tent right now is full of such a wide ideological spectrum. People are flocking to the Republicans because we stand for common sense.
Yeah.
And Democrats have taken on all this uncommon fringe nonsense. And if they are in the toilet, my advice, flush away the fringe and the people who have drug you down there, because this is why Republicans won the election.
If the president was having an off day, meetings would be scrapped all together. Scott Jennings, you were just talking about this, so I'll go to you first because I know you have a lot to say, but this piece does show Biden having all of these sort of walls up.
Yeah.
And the walls kept getting higher and higher as the years went on.
This is the biggest scandal in America. And the level and volume of people who dedicated themselves to lying to everyone at home about this man's condition for 4 straight years up through this summer is breathtaking. It's a scandal of epic proportions. And it's a fair question to ask, who is running the country? Who has been running the country? And as I said earlier, if you're worried about Donald Trump's advisors having influence, for the last 4 years, apparently this president, duly elected, but this president was not capable of fulfilling the duties of the office. And his staff and the White House lied about it and kept it from the American people. It's an absolute scandal.
I'm surprised he's not just blood spatter at this point. But just yesterday, I mean, Jody said, like, we're not playing any of his sound anymore.
No.
And Daniel did. It's all lies, Donna. It was all lies during the election. It's all lies now. So, of course, CNN felt like they had to go through it one by one. It's just all completely egregious lies.
Well, what really irritated me was he gives this press conference yesterday. And he holds forth with he was playing his greatest hits, okay? It was the same thing you always heard. And how do people report about it? But at least he gave a press conference, which Biden never did.
Oh,
and that's really the number one headline, that he gave a press conference, thank you, sir, for giving a press conference.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, this piece was so on point, Donna, and yet so depressing. You said what Joe Biden couldn't do and why it mattered. And you talked about being in your car listening to President Biden's speech about Syria and thought it was pretty good. Then you said, I saw it on TV, and you said whether I was supposed to or not, I felt bad for him. And you were talking about the famous Kennedy-Nixon debate, where people who saw the debate on TV said Kennedy clearly won. People who heard it on the radio said Nixon won. But we are just in this age now where, depressing as it is, as you said, apparently they want the Trump show. They want an entertainer.
They want professional wrestling. They want bread and circuses. And I really wonder if his followers, who think that he is the greatest thing since sliced bread, I wonder if they've thought about the implications of some of his policies, because it's going to come down on them. And here's the problem. They will then be told by the right-wing media, oh, this is all because of the liberals. And I'm sitting there going, no, it's kind of not all because of the liberals. But if you hear the same thing over and over and over, I mentioned when I was on with Bob, I have a friend who lives in Tennessee, God bless her, and I jokingly refer to her as my right-wing fact check because she is in that world where that's all she hears.
Right.
And she's quoting me back things that liberals believe, and I'm sitting there like, I don't know anyone who believes
You're
those
like,
things.
no, and no.
Did you hear Kamala run on any of this stuff?
No. That's what I mean. It's not about what actually is. It's what people perceived was, from this massive right-wing disinformation chamber that then, leads the regular media by the nose. And so they're reacting to right-wing talking points rather than,
Absolutely.
I just saw, what was it called? The red one with The Rock. It's the Santa movie.
Right.
Good.
And after I read your piece, Donna, I'm like, well, The Rock's going to have to be our next president.
There you
Where-
are. There you are.
And
Have you
ironically,
thought about running for president? You're entertaining. I mean, you could do this.
sure. Oh yeah, yeah.
Don't look into her closets
Yeah,
or
fart
don't,
jokes.
no, yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we need. But you made the point down in your piece. Joe Biden's not a television president. He's always been an awkward speaker, prone to gaffes, has a tendency to say the wrong thing even when he knows the topic and knows what he's trying to say. You say Trump has a background in the entertainment industry, a larger-than-life persona he's utilized for years. Biden is neither an entertainer nor a performer. Silly me. That wasn't what I was ever looking for in a president. But right, you said he's an old school politician trying to fit into an era where policy positions don't seem to matter and constructing an exciting image is everything. Oh, this is so depressing and on point, Donna. You said that's why I was one of the folks who believed Biden should not have run for re-election. I know he had some very important accomplishments and I know he wanted to run on them, which I can understand, right? And you said fairly or not, in a visual media universe, he just looked old. It wasn't his chronological age. Since perception is reality, what people perceived was that he wasn't up to the task. And boy, the media was happy to help, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
could we have one more story about Biden's old, the economy's bad, Biden's old, the economy's bad?
Well, you know what else really just toasts me is the fact that Mitch McConnell has something wrong where he falls, his face freezes, all this other nothing. But Joe Biden made a gaffe. He's old.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why are these two things different? Why is
Right.
McConnell? Well, we're not going to talk about that. But Biden, oh my God, the guy's old.
And unfortunately, to mention debates, as you did in Kennedy-Nixon, that debate performance played right into the already, set in stone narrative that the media had written, right?
And you've had so many people on your show that have interacted with him, that have engaged with him. I know people that have worked with the man. I have a lot of journalist friends, just like you do. They all said the same thing. When you are in a room with him and you're talking policy, the guy is sharp as a tack. Oh, wait, he's not the greatest speaker, but he knows his stuff. Today, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you know your stuff. As long as you can create an entertaining show, you can get people interested in your campaign. I found that profoundly disappointing.
Me
I mean, you
too.
and I-
Yeah. I mean, it's just sad. You said, I loved how you ended this, Donna. You said, I wish I had a time machine that could transport Joe Biden back to the 70s or 80s, back when policies and accomplishments were what voters cared about. You said, while I sincerely believe Joe Biden got a lot done, deserves our thanks, what we needed him to do was something that wasn't within his skill set. So here we are, awaiting the next episode of The Trump Show, not knowing what might come next, but his supporters aren't worried. They're sure whatever happens, it's guaranteed to be entertaining. I mean, man.
And look at this. You've been talking about all of the people. I made a list and checked it twice. All the people that have gone down to Mar-a-Lago to bend the knee. People you wouldn't even expect. But hey, they want to be part of it. They want to be like, he's on my side. I'm on his side. How is that good for democracy?
It's not, Donna, and it's like I said on Q yesterday with ABC being the latest to capitulate. Here he comes threatening CBS for editing the editing of the Kamala interview. Bob
And
Woodward
going after Ann Seltzer
for a poll.
A poll.
I mean, and the point is, we can legally go, that's nonsense, and he's not going to win any of those. That's not the point. It's to threaten people. It's to bully them. It's to preempt any bad coverage of him. It's to scare people
And to
financially.
create self-censorship, to create
Yes.
people thinking, oh my God, if I say this, even if it's true, I'll get sued. And my corporate overlords don't want to invest money, so I better just